Morning, hope you're well. Welcome back. Welcome if it's your first time viewing. Air seeder. So, a bit of an update. I didn't film anything yesterday, but we're getting pretty close now. We've got all this pull made up, so we've got the pintle hook all bolted up. I did a dash to tan yesterday afternoon and got some, I put grade 10.9 bolts in there. It's funny, that thing, like, it's rated for 30 ton pull, and it's got 12mm bolts in it. I don't know. Anyway, so we've gone for high grade bolts just to help with that. So yeah, we cut that other tongue off. There it is there. Cut that other tongue off that we had before, or we were using before, and then just welded, a bit of plate and a couple of gussets, and hopefully that'll be all right. I've got a bit of high tensile chain there that I just need to cut to length, and I've got a couple of, where are they? Just a couple of lifting hooks there I'm going to put on it, just so it's easy to unhook and hook, but yeah, it'd be a bugger for something to break, and we ended up with a Bluetooth cart. So got a couple of rolls of 62mm air seeder hose. This stuff is like gold. I think the two for the 40 meters, I reckon, was a bit over $1,700. Couldn't believe it, but anyway, it is what it is. It's hard to can't do it without it. So boys got the metering units back on yesterday, so basically I had all three of us here working on it yesterday. We've done away with the steel pipes, and we've just they sort of, I'm hoping that sort of bend will flow not too badly. So there's a few bits and pieces left under here to tidy up, bit of wiring, and the hoses that come from the metering unit to the bin, just to pressurise the bin. Just these camera leads have got to be hooked back up again. I've been mucking it off. Brendan's got all the bar should be pretty right with the hoses. Hopefully we've got everything there hooked back up again. We'll have to run through at some stage and just give the press wheels a spin and a couple of pumps of grease potentially. There will be a few in here that probably want changing, but we might be able to get the pasture done first or next week. I'm away next week. I've got a livestock marketing course. I've been trying to do it for about 3 years, and I've postponed it a couple of times. I think I did mention that I was going to do it, so that's me next Tuesday, Wednesday, half a Thursday. So that's going to sort of bugger the job up a bit as far as, yeah, I was hoping we might have got sowing next week, but it might be when I get home on Friday. Just there's plenty of other stuff going on as well. So yeah, whether we contract corn harvest, sort of one of the contract job we've got to do, it's probably pretty close. So whether I send the guys down there harvesting corn while I'm away, or yeah, if we can get this thing pretty close between now and then, or between now and Monday, we've got a couple of stubbles to burn. Yeah, so I'm sort of residing to the fact that I was hoping to have it going Monday, and I could get them set up, and they'd be right, but I don't think it's going to happen. I've still got a load of line to cart out the back. The division needs to go in the truck. Yeah, so anyway, it is what it is. It's only, it'd be good for the feed to get it in early, but if if we're the 20, whatever I can't even think what the date will be, the 31st or 30th or something like that, it's not going to be the end of the world. So what I'm doing this morning is I'm trying to get this small seats box mounted up. So this is the third attempt I've had at doing this. Yeah, I made these ones up the other day, and they just had too much wobble in them, and I don't want to tie it back to the bin because I'm worried just with the flex and that sort of stuff. It was actually designed, the guys that made it got all the measurements and that, and it was actually, I think we were supposed to bolt it to the face of that bin, and I don't really want to do that because there's a fair bit of weight in it, and I'm worried it might crack the front of the bin. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to turn it. Originally I just had it, running crossways and the lid opening back towards the bin. What I've decided to do, and the pipe work that comes with it's going to allow me to do it, I'm actually going to turn it 180 degrees and run it that way, and then I've got a couple of 100mm box sections there that I'm just going to run up off here, so that'll give me plenty of strength, and I can gusset them back, which you'll see in time. And then, yeah, we can make a bit of a landing up to stand on, to tip the bags in it. That was a bit of the trick with having it the other way. You had nowhere to sort of stand, so not we'll be tipping, when we're doing pasture we'll be putting a bit of seed in it, but canola, you know, 4 bags or 5 bags does 40 hectares, so you're only sort of filling it, you know, twice a day, something like that. So but yeah, you've still got to, you know, get up here to get it in, so I sort of don't want anyone to break a leg trying to tip seed in it, so I just was trying to find the best way. And that, I was originally thinking bolting it, like using that, what I've got there, and then going back to the bin again, but I was still a bit concerned just with the twist and that sort of stuff that we'd end up cracking that bin, so I'm going to have it completely independent of the bin, and then hopefully that eliminates any issues. We've got to extend the lead on it, so I've got some 7-core just trailer wire, so I need to do that. Yeah, we'll just see how we go today. We've got a function on this afternoon, so, or at lunchtime, so today is Saturday, sorry. Yeah, so the boys aren't here. We've got a new bit of ducting to go from the oil cooler into the fan, so that's right to go on. There are those tubes that we know we'll no longer use. Tony's been just mucking around with this, with the hopper, because we've brought the wheels back now, and when the augers folded up, you'd have the hopper folded down, whereas now it will hit that wheel. So we've had to just rejig, and this had seized and broken off anyway, so I had to rejig it anyway. I'll redo it. So yeah, while we're going, we're actually putting a bit of rubber in the back here, just to, when we fill, we end up with a pile of grain and fert on the ground, so we're just trying to tidy that up as well. So yeah, pretty happy with all the way this has come up. Obviously we're missing a bit of paint, but we'll just, yeah, I only welded that on this morning, so I haven't, that's why I sort of thought it's going to get extra bits welded to it, so I wasn't sort of not stressing too much. Pretty, like this, we'll tidy all this up a bit, but that's sort of all worked really well. And then yeah, well that there, there's a separate riser, like one of them, for the small seeds, and we've actually got to cut these hoses and put some things in. Let me get her over here. Where are we? We've got these things to put these into the primary seed lines. So we've got to cut them and put them in there somewhere at some point in time. I've got the ends to go on these hoses, but I actually need to heat the hose, get some, I need some aerosol for the little gas cooker to heat the water up. So, and yeah, we just stick them in some hot water just to soften them up to get the ends on. So, I meant to get them yesterday when I was in town, forgot all about it. So, but all these other stuffs, the ones under the bin are pushed on, which has been good. I thought we might have had to have heated the whole lot. So, but no. So anyway, got a feed sheep yet this morning, and I'll just see if I've got time. I might duck into town. But oh, big news! That's what I forgot to tell you. I should have started with that. 35 mil of rain. That's the biggest news. So we've got a few. We probably wouldn't tell. There's a few puddles kicking around, but not many now. Like it sucked it up pretty quick. But we had 10 mil Thursday, so we're Saturday, so 10 mil during the day Thursday, and then another, I don't know, what's that, 25 I suppose, from about, it sort of rained most of the day and stopped about 4, and we had a couple hour break, and then it came in and rained pretty heavily for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours or something like that. So we've ended up with, 34 or 5 mil, which has been really, really good. So that's gonna, hopefully day or two, these loosened paddocks will be up and going a bit. Yeah, so that has taken the pressure off the feed job, or will take the pressure off the feed job for a while, which is good. So, and look, hopefully we might get a bit of a follow up going forward, and yeah, like another 20 or 25 mil in 10 days or a fortnight's time, and you know we're well on our way to a pretty good start to autumn. So after a pretty dry one, like that's the biggest. We've had 2s and 3s and 4 mils, but that's the biggest fall we've had since November. So what's that, 4.5 months? So yeah, anyway. All right, enough of my waffle. I'll chip away here, and yeah, I've got to drill a couple of plates just to pick these holes up on there, and then we can tack those posts up, and yeah, I need to cut them off too, of course. So. Yeah, it's a bit of a bugger that, but anyway, it is what it is. Okay, we'll fast forward a couple of hours, fed sheep. So I've got a couple of uprights here, and then I've just put that angle brace back down, but yeah, a fair bit more sturdier than what we had. I had a couple of go. What did I do? Oh, I cut that bloody brace too short. Anyway, not to worry. And then I just had a pressure pack of paint, and I mustn't have shaken it up properly, and that's the colour of the lid. And I thought, oh yeah, that's about the same colour as what we are. And it was coming out, you can see the dark spot up there, it was coming out really dark. And I'm just like, this isn't right. Anyway, so I persisted, and as the can got emptier, the colour must have all been at the bottom. So I give it a good shake, and yeah, I might just get another one. It's not going to matter up there, it's all got paint on it. But yeah, once it gets covered in a bit of dirt and dust, it's not going to matter too much anyway. So I've run out of time today to get that up, so I'll yeah, lift it up in the morning, and then we can possibly start and plumb some of the hoses up. I'm going to go to town this arvo, so I might grab some gas canisters so we can heat a bit of water in the morning and put the ends in those things. But yeah, it's hopefully the bulk of the welding and that is done now, which will be nice. So it's just all the fiddly, I won't say time consuming because the whole thing's been pretty time consuming, but yeah, just those sort of fiddly finishing off jobs. Yeah, so anyway, we'll reconvene in the morning. Morning. Still Meals on Wheels. Another cracking day. Not a lot of wind, and yeah, gonna be a ripper. So yeah, just feeding all the lambs, or feeding all the sheep first, and yeah, we'll do a bit on this air cart. It's Sunday, so we won't get too carried away. We might try and hang that small seeds box up, and yeah, I'm just actually catching up with some friends later this arvo. So yeah. Anyway, lambs are looking good. So there'll be 150 of these will go, the heavier ones, but they'll go towards the end of this week. I think Thursday, so that'll leave about 300 then. So, but yeah, they've got the hang of the lolly cart now anyway. I'm tempted to put a bit of grain in some of the self feeders, but yeah, the beauty of doing it like this, once they've eaten the grain, it's gone. They sort of can't gut themselves on it. Anyway, we'll keep going. I've got young Molly in here with me. She's come for a drive this morning. Righto, take number 3. Hopefully this all fits up and works properly. We have had the starter motor out of the telehandler. We pulled it out. Well, Tony did most of it, pulled it out the other day. It was full of dust, just wouldn't engage, and it's still not 100%. So, yeah, hopefully it hasn't done 1,000 hours, which is a bit frustrating. But anyway, so hopefully it starts all right. But yeah, I'll get this thing lifted up, and fingers crossed it all bolts up all right, and it's pretty rigid. And then we can, yeah, look at plumbing it up. So, yeah, I've got to extend the lead to the tractor. And yeah, put those things in to feed the seed into these main primary hoses. There's a bracket there for the riser for the head. We've got a head there to go on it, so we might have to weld a bracket on for that. But yeah, fingers crossed it's going to all work out all right. true to form, it didn't want to bloody start. So yeah, whether the solenoid on the starter motor's cactus, I'd say. What made me think of it, I brought the ute round and put the hooked the jumper leads onto it, and just with a bit extra power, it's got it to kick in and engage. So anyway, we'll have to pull it out again. It's a pain in the bum to pull it out. So, but yeah, it's no good the way it is. So anyway, we'll have another go. We got there. So I made a bit of stuff up the posts. I think the angle lines on the back of the bin are 1185 apart, and I've made the bloody plates 1185 apart. So we actually had to pack the other side with a couple of washers this way. It was supposed to go between the posts, but anyway, that's not the end of the world. But it's, I'll stand up here. It's nice and rigid, which is good. So I'll just see what we do, whether we build a landing here to stand on to fill it, or we could actually, once you unlashed it, we could actually fill it from up there. So I might start and run a bit of pipe work and get this riser up and see where it's going to fit. And yeah, we've got to run a hose to the fan at the back and actually cut a hole for that to supply air to it. So there is a little bit of mucking around in getting it plumbed up, but it shouldn't, hopefully, touch wood, fingers crossed, be too bad. So I think that should work okay. That bracket had some other bits of angle and long bolts to sort of probably clamp onto something, but it wasn't I couldn't get it to work really. It wanted, rather than have an angle there, probably flat would be better, because the bolts were either too long or I didn't have any shorter bolts. So easiest solution was just to weld it on, so we'll get a bit of paint and slap on them, and then the distributor head, and then I've just that slipped onto there really easily, which was good. It's actually probably not super tight either, but yeah, I don't think, being small seeds, there's not a heap of seed coming around there, so I think that should work all right. And then we can just cut these hoses here somewhere, and we can just bring the 32mm hose down to these primary lines, and then it should go to the bar and distribute evenly with a bit of luck. So what we might do when we get going, or before we get going, is we might just randomly, run the seeder for a minute or something like that, and then have a bucket under a few times, just to see what our distribution across the bar's like, just to make sure it's reasonably even. I don't see why it shouldn't be, because but it's probably something we haven't done, and I know if you've been watching along for a while, we had that trouble with the fert, but I think because we were trying to push so much fertiliser through the machine, and we weren't using all the tubes, like the outside 2 tubes would have been probably blocked, which wasn't helping us. But yeah, I might just, when we do get it operational, I might just check that out of interest and make sure it's going all right. So getting there, probably won't get it finished tomorrow. I've got a few other jobs to do tomorrow. I'm going to knock off now, but we need to get a bit of stubble burnt tomorrow, which we can't do that till 4 o'clock in the afternoon anyway. But I'll just probably chip away here. There are a few other jobs that I need doing, given that I'm sort of, as I said, not here for the 3 days or 2.5 days this coming week. So I'll just sort of try and get all the jobs sorted out for the boys. I was wanting to get sowing, but we're just not organised. Well, the seeder won't be far away, but it's everything else. So we could potentially go contract harvesting corn. I'll have a look at that in the morning. So if that's the case, we can move the header and all that sort of stuff. So this might just show Tony what needs to be finished off, and he can just chip away in the mornings if it's a bit dewy or something like that. If the corn does go, or there's no sort of welding much left to be done. It's all just sort of tidying, wiring up, and hoses and that sort of stuff. So there's nothing. Sort of Tony can handle all that without any dramas, and we can get Brendan doing a bit of tractor work. I think will be the order of the day. And there's lambs going again this week, so they'll have to get them in and draft them up Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. So yeah, we'll just work that one out when we know what's going on. So righto, we're getting there. We are getting there. It's good to get to this point, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it all bloody works the way it should, or the way we plan it should. So yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. We've ticked over that 4,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. So onwards and upwards. So yeah, thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.